Hollywood loves redemption arcs, but what happens when the comeback tour begins with a crowd-funded cancellation? 5 days after rehearsals kicked off at London's Palladium, a Change.org petition titled "Free Evita" from Rachel Zegler rocketed past 100,000 signatures, the population of a mid-size UK town, demanding a new leading lady for the Jamie Lloyd revival. Producers had barely printed the souvenir programs before fans weaponized Wi-Fi against their own headliner, proving once again that 21st century pitchforks are delivered by push notification. For Rachel Zegler, the role of Eva Peron was supposed to be a dream fulfilled. Early buzz and glossy promo shots suggested a sold-out summer run. Press releases trumpeted pre-sales tracking strong. But inside ticket seller spreadsheets, an uglier reality emerged. 6 and sometimes 7 seats out of 10 remained stubbornly vacant for midweek shows. TikTok clips of polite but echoing matinees flooded timelines, each video lingering on the sad hush of a 2,300-seat palace populated by what the ushers now call micro-crowds. Empty rows were only the first domino. The petition's comment section turned into a roast session so relentless it could power the stage lights. One signer quipped that paying to watch a half-empty house felt like buying a front-row seat to a rehearsal of silence. Another proposed renting an AI hologram. At least the hologram won't trash-talk the fan base in interviews. The petition's velocity spooked executives because digital uprisings reliably predict real-world walkouts. Within 48 hours, #Evita Liberation trended top 10 in the UK. A split-screen meme of Zegler's Met Gala smile next to an ocean of red upholstery racked up 500,000 likes, and a chorus of replies, "We tried, but you lost us at it's no longer 1937. Backstage, panic rewrote the call sheets. According to 2 West End insiders, Plan C began scribbling itself on cocktail napkins. Rotating celebrity guests, a stripped-down concert staging that slashes rehearsal time, even exploratory feelers to a well-liked British actress should the nuclear option, quietly firing their star, become unavoidable. Financial spreadsheets couldn't care less about artistic vision. They only understand numbers glowing redder than exit signs. Why did audiences turn so quickly on a 24-year-old who can belt high E's for breakfast? The answer starts 2 years and 1 kingdom away, on the set of Disney's Snow White. The remake's rollout became a perfect storm of culture war tripwires, dwarf representation debates, a $250 million budget that swelled during pandemic delays, and Zegler's viral red carpet remark that the 1937 classic was basically about a guy who stalks a girl. Her critics labeled the comment arrogant. Her supporters called it feminist. Either way, box office analysts now view the live-action Snow White as a $300 million cautionary tale, and Zegler as its lightning rod. The fallout followed her across the Atlantic. A Chinese video blogger accused Zegler of snubbing Asian fans during an earlier premiere, a rumor amplified on Weibo and YouTube. Screenshots showed the actress allegedly refusing group photos and flashing a middle finger. Authentic or not, the clip poured rocket fuel on an already smoldering narrative that she's too Hollywood for her own good. Industry whisperers piled on. One crew member from the Snow White set described her as a loose cannon, claiming she would ad-lib unscripted feminist zingers during takes. Studio sources countered that she's young, outspoken, and above all, trainable. Disney shifted into crisis containment mode, shelving press junkets and enrolling their star in what tabloids dubbed intensive media training lockdown, the corporate equivalent of sending your teenager to charm school. Meanwhile, the cultural crossfire kept widening. BBC film writer Kelechi Ehanulo argued that Zegler had become a convenient punching bag for every side of the internet's ideological tug-of-war. Critics see arrogance, supporters see racist double standards toward a Latina lead, and undecided spectators just see noise. The more each camp dug in, the more neutral ticket buyers quietly backed out, unwilling to pay premium prices for political drama with a show-tune soundtrack. All the while, Zegler herself oscillated between defiance and vulnerability on social media. She liked an Instagram post decrying online bullying disguised as fan activism, triggering headlines that framed a double tap as shade. In a charity livestream, she lamented that cancel culture has found new disguises, and nostalgia wears one of them, a one-sentence grenade that critiqued both her haters and the concept of memory itself. Admirably concise, yes, but another spark for those convinced she was scolding the paying public. Petitions might look like harmless slacktivism, but studio legal teams now treat signature counts like seismic readouts. A similar Change.org campaign once nudged Sonic the Hedgehog animators to redesign an entire character. Another overturned Netflix's decision to axe Warrior Nun. Executives know ignoring 100,000 voices is riskier than disappointing one headliner's agent. As a theater blogger dryly put it, you can replace an actor, but you can't replace an audience. Unless you've discovered how to print money on empty popcorn bags. By week 3 of rehearsals, another leak, grain of salt included, hit Discord, a color-coded spreadsheet charting nightly attendance since previews. Real or fan fiction, its slow slide trajectory matched TikTok walkthroughs of mausoleum quiet lobbies. A creator stitched that chart under lo-fi jazz and whispered, "Alexa, play Don't Cry for Me ticket revenue." Perhaps the most 2025 sentence imaginable. Producers fought to project calm. An official statement assured everyone they had creative confidence in our current cast. Yet insiders say calls went out to agents for Florence Pugh, Anya Taylor-Joy, and even West End legends on semi-retired status. One cheeky Redditor suggested Dolly Parton, "If we're already in chaos, why not sell out nightly?" The joke gained traction because, well, chaos at least signals movement, and movement tempts back the curious. Zegler's supporters finally launched a counter-petition insisting that great performances need time to bloom, and that internet pylons steal oxygen from genuine artistry. Their tally, however, barely scraped 5 figures, dwarfed by the runaway train it was trying to halt. Fair point or not, the core problem remained brutally simple. The loudest critics weren't typing essays. They were embodied by the empty chairs critics left behind. Amid the flare-ups, one overlooked truth kept lurking in the footnotes. Zegler can sing, she can act. Colleagues describe her as generous and hardworking in the rehearsal room. Yet charisma in live theater begins long before the orchestra tunes. It starts with goodwill, and goodwill is allergic to condescension. When you lecture audiences about their childhood classics and then ask them to drop 140 pounds to watch you reinterpret a second one, expect at least a raised eyebrow. And these days, possibly a keyboard symphony. Change.org later confirmed the Evita petition's signatures were genuine, traceable to unique UK and US IP addresses, the same metro areas the production depends on for tourism revenue. Marketing departments briefly floated spinning the story as passionate engagement, but socials had already reframed the show as a cautionary tale. One viral joke said the Palladium's balcony now matched Phantom of the Opera, except the only thing crashing was consumer confidence. Where does the spotlight land next? According to a fresh whisper, the team has booked emergency creative discussions for Monday. PR code for what in the name of box office mercy do we do now? Options on the table. Guest star weeks. Bring in a Patti LuPone cameo or a Dua Lipa stunt night to spike tourism. Rotating leads. Share the burden across 3 actresses, keeping curiosity high and egos lower. Concert version. Cut the book scenes. Lean on the iconic score / rehearsal time if a late game replacement is inevitable. Each solution carries its own flavor of chaos, but chaos is movement. And movement converts at the box office better than paralysis. Still, even the flashiest guest slot won't fix the central math. 7-figure weekly overheads cannot survive on 4-figure attendance. The forgotten piece in all this? Snow White hasn't even bowed in theaters yet. Disney, nursing a projected $300 million write-down, has staged its premieres in remote locales to avoid protest pickets. If that film tanks on arrival, the collateral damage will splash directly onto whatever stage Zegler stands on next. And yet, escape hatches exist. One UK columnist floated a humility tour. Zegler could withdraw from Evita, take 6 months off socials, and reappear off-Broadway in a modest revival. Think Spring Awakening in a 299-seater, reminding audiences why they loved her West Side Story debut. The risk? Hollywood's memory resets faster than a TikTok feed. Out of sight can quickly become out of mind. So the standoff continues. Petition counters tick upward, refund requests nibble at the advance, and somewhere in the bowels of the Palladium, a stage manager rehearses calling house to half to a house that's already at quarter. Theater folk are resilient. They've danced through plagues, strikes, and 2 world wars. But this is a newer foe, crowdsourced exile, delivered instantaneously, and executed in the currency producers fear most, Silence. If you're still awake for this saga of stage lights and smartphones, tap the like button so the algorithm knows you crave more theatrical turbulence. Then tell me, would you keep Rachel, bring in Florence, or toss the whole production to the wolves of musical history? I read every comment, partly because your wit is pure entertainment, partly because Hollywood executives definitely are watching, because the real headline in 2025 isn't whether Rachel Zegler can hit the E-flat at the end of Don't Cry For Me, Argentina. It's that the loudest voice in showbiz no longer stands on stage at all. It sits in your pocket, waiting for the next notification buzz to tell it which dream to build and which one to shatter.